Sorry. Alright, how do you guys feel today? Welcome everyone to the good, the fabled Xenoblade Chronicles X. Oh yeah, we are so back with the game. I am so happy I got it today. I got everything together. We have an awesome stream today happening. Thank you all for tuning in. We are going to continue with Xenoblade X. Obviously, I already played Xenosaga and Xenogears on the channel, but I have not played any of the late games yet, which I probably will at one point. But I have a complicated history with X a bit. Xenoblade X, initially, I never got further than probably the middle point. It's weird because the game always keeps falling a little bit off for me at that point. I don't know what it is. I just know that I just can't play it past that point. At least I couldn't on my Wii U. And I hope the systems that annoyed me are fixed for this, so we can actually have better, you know, so we can actually have a really good experience this time. Also, streaming might help because obviously we are I'm more prone to finishing games when I'm streaming. Not just the cold hard truth, you know? And I'm super surprised because one thing I would like to say, first off, it is remarkable how this release was handled. And you only get that, for example, with Nintendo games. Always only Nintendo games. This is just really Nintendo games that are pushing this. I want to look at the first thing is the box. Obviously. I did that same thing with Monster Hunter Wilds. But I wanna say something about the box itself. Look at this box. You can see it. Obviously, the cool cover art. The back seems like a regular box, right? Here's the thing. This is the inside. It has a cool art on the inside, as well as something. Well, this is only NintendoSwitch Online, free 7-day trials, and I think... Wait, what? There's 2 codes for a 7-day free trial for NintendoSwitch Online. Or is that not a code? Let me see real quick. That just seems like a booklet. The actual code seems to be here. I don't know if I'll give this away. Maybe I'll give this away. But, you know, obviously we don't get instruction booklets anymore. But this is actually more than I would have imagined. A 7-day free trial for Nintendo Switch Online is good, because this game has an online component to it. And you know, you have the little sheet of like information on there. And this is like the early purchase bonus that you get. So yeah, at least it has something in there. And you know, Nintendo Switch cartridges, Nintendo Switch games are decently sized. They're not too big, not too small. I think this is one of my favorite boxes that you can get for games, because it's really small, it's really thin, fits on a shelf perfectly, and you know, they actually made a cover art for in here, you know. Let me contrast this to something about Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter Wilds looks like this when you buy it on the shelf. When you buy it on the shelf, you're not getting the thing, the steelbook. You know, you're not getting the steelbook when you're buying it on the shelf. So this is Monster Hunter Wilds, and this is the inside. Like seriously, this is what I hate about PS5 and PS4 games. These are just Blu-ray cases. They are manufactured, they are cheap, and the cover is extremely cheap. So yeah, that's something that I want to say. Also, Nintendo games are incredibly cheap. If you buy them physically, this game, I don't know if it's the same in the dollar region, but in the euro region, this game costs 50 euros. Whereas this game costs 70 euros. That's 20 euros more because it's the Sony tax you have to pay, right? Like they up the price for these games. Some of them even cost 80 euros. I think this one was already 10 euros off. Some of them cost like 80 euros. And Switch games on release, usually 60 euros in the eShop, 50 euros when you buy it physically. You know? Like it's the cheaper option. Like, I haven't bought a Switch game where I had to pay the full $60 price. And something that I also want to highlight is this game, Monster Hunter Wilds, I had to fully install. When I got it, I had to wait for an hour until it was installed. Xenoblade X, I just popped in earlier, tried it out. No update. It doesn't have a day one patch. You just pop in the cartridge, you can play it. This is something that I want to highlight. Physical games are the best option still for you. And I really, really, really think everyone should just buy physical. You know? Just go into a store and buy a physical copy of any game you want. Especially on release day. On release day games are very cheap. Might be a country difference, but at least in my country, or I would say Eurocentric, but I don't know other Euro countries. But if you go into a shop and buy it physically, they usually discount it on the day. Like, I've gotten it with Switch games every time, where I pre-order one in my shop, and the day before they say it's the $10 discount. So usually they say it's going to be it's going to be $60, 60 euros, and then the day before they are saying it's going to be 10 euros cheaper. That's happened with every Switch game I had so far, and I pre-ordered. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know if this is an experience with other countries. That might be a thing, that physical copies are not very common around where you are. Definitely in my country, they are obviously always stocked on release. They stock way too many. So there's not really a shortage problem, and they usually discount it. I don't know how it is. Obviously, Monster Hunter Wilds was also discounted. It cost me 70, I think. I think it was 70, yeah. But because Sony decided to upgrade the price to $70, and they upped the price for the Euro region, so it costs $80 on release. So you pay 80 euros in the Euro-centric zone because they upped the price, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but Sony, to me, never has made sense with their pricing, so I don't know. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Physical games definitely get more physical games because digital games is not going to be a future. Digital games, I always say, if you get it on a strong discount, you can buy physical. Like if it's a strong discount, buy digital. And especially indie games. Support indie games as much as possible. Which is okay to buy digital. But I think every major game from every big corporation, always physical. Because I don't trust them at all. And it saddens me to hear that physical games are dying out. You see it in the stores at all times, even here. No, Nintendo didn't up their prices at all. It's 60 euros on release in the eShop since the beginning of the Switch. In my country, at least. It's been 60 euros on the eShop, generally. And as I said, they get a discount on day one, usually. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is a store pricing thing, because I don't think Nintendo has like... I don't think Nintendo sets fixed prices for their Switch games to stores. Which I think they might just sell it for 50, just so they can get a few more copies sold. I think that might be it. But it seems like stores have a certain amount of wiggle room when it comes to pricing of their games. Digital has always been $59.99, so $60. Digital has always been $60. PlayStation $80 for me. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about physical games. Definitely buy physical if you can. Go support your local store or whatever. I'm still a little bit sick, by the way. I have a stuffed nose like crazy and I hate it. But yeah. We're going to jump into Xenoblade X soon. But yeah, the biggest thing about Nintendo has always been, and I hope it continues with the Switch too. That seems weird to me. I don't know. The only game that they obviously priced up was Breath of the Wild, which cost 70. But that was like the only instance I recall of a Nintendo game like being costing more. It might be very different for other regions, obviously. It's really odd why they did that. But yeah, if you can buy physical, that's all I'm going to say. Especially Nintendo, I hope they continue this trend with the Switch 2. The Switch 2 should have like the same promise of plug and play that they still have. Like, literally, this promise, that is something that console manufacturers forgot about completely, is the thing about I'm putting in my game and I'm playing the game immediately. Right? Like, Switch kind of has that. Sometimes they have a day one patch, but it's at most 5 to 10 minutes to download it. Whereas with all other console manufacturers, you have to install the entire game. You know? But Xenoblade X, by the way, no day one patch. So I didn't have to download anything to start the game previously. And we're going to start it right now, I think. I can already put your fears aside. Xenoblade never is a cash grab. Never. I fully trust Monolith Soft because Monolith Soft has been delivering games. Has been delivering the best games. All of the Xenoblade games are fantastic. They always have delivered peak in terms of games. So it's definitely not a cash grab. I need to fix the camera really quick. Okay. Other side. Here we go. I hate my stuffed nose today. I don't know what it is. But yeah. I think we should go over and start. It's a very different game. If you never played Xenoblade, don't expect the game to be the same as the others. Xenoblade X is a very different experience from the other Xenoblade games, by the way. There we go. Let me quickly get everything set up, and here we go. We are set up and ready to go. Let's boot up the game. For the second time. It's good to see you again, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Also, startup time was fascinating. Because startup time was really quick. So yeah, let's go first into the settings as always. They actually have quite a few, quite a bit of I have quite a few things here. Quite a few settings, which is very rare for a Nintendo game, by the way. They don't want to give you too much settings, usually. Let's go. I'm so excited to finally get into this. You don't even know. This is very different. This is a very different start. Yeah, sometimes Nintendo games don't have any settings at all, which, you know, is a little bit weird. I wish there were more sometimes. I think this is a very different start from what was the original Xenoblade X. Interesting. Oh. Oh, this reminds me so much of the shot from Xenosaga.
July 2054 AD.
Oh, we're getting a
Earth was
big
caught in
state,
great
huh?
battle between unknown alien forces. Their weapons were terrifying and powerful beyond human reckoning. Our planet was overwhelmed, its surface reduced to ash and rubble in the blink of an eye. The coalition government knew the war was coming. In response, they prepared the Earth-like colonization project, Project Exodus. Interstellar arcs were launched all across the planet, from every major city on Earth. Bravely, we leapt from our cradle, our home for the last 4.5 billion years. But most of the arcs never even made it out of the atmosphere. Only a small handful managed to escape. Among them was our ship, the White Whale. After leaving Earth behind, we spent 2 years wandering in space, searching.
I've never played
We
Fantasy
thought of
Star, by the
ourselves
way.
as the lucky ones, the pioneers who would settle a new world. But our past caught up with us, literally. The alien blitz was unrelenting. If not for the efforts of a lone hero, we would never have survived. Our ship took heavy damage. We lost control. With our flight systems down, the White Whale was pulled into the gravitational field of a nearby planet, its hull shattering and breaking to pieces as we plummeted toward the surface.
I love the setup. I've always loved the setup.
Since then, 2 months have passed.
I don't know if they are going to reconnect this game to the other Xenoblade lore and Xenosaga lore. I hope not. Oh god. We have to go through the character creator. I really hope they don't connect it to Xenoblade lore, because that would make the lore a little bit messy, but I don't know. I mean, they literally mention Project Exodus. I probably should be relatively. Let's see. Skin color. I'm preferring a little bit more white on this one. We can make it all sorts of different colors. Interesting. There we go. Freckles. It's a very basic, by the way, character editor. I'll have to go for hair first. It's a very basic character editor, so, you know. It's nothing like in Monster Hunter Wilds where we had like a very strong character editor. I mean, they kind of want to keep the identity from the original, which also had a very basic editor. I think I always choose this one. I always chose this one, I think. Obviously, we want that. X is a spin-off. An absolute spin-off. Let me go into the Xeno serious lore, because it's all very connected, but very loosely connected to each other. Xenoblade 1 through 3 are basically one continuity. They are very strongly connected, obviously, through the games. I mean, it's very obvious. But then also, Xenosaga 1 through 3, which came before Xenoblade, which weren't developed by Nintendo, by the way. They were Monolith Soft still, so the same studio, but with a different publisher, and they were developed for PS2, are their own continuity. And then you have Xenogears, which is also developed by the same people, but with Squaresoft. It's a little bit weird, but there's like 3 continuities. There's Xenogears at the beginning, there's Xenosaga 1 through 3, and there's Xenoblade. So each of them are pretty much separate. The problem is, the last Xenoblade game, Future Redeemed, like the DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, dropped some things into the series, into Xenoblade, that directly connects Xenoblade, the Xenoblade series, to the Xenosaga series. Like, directly connects them together. This is what I mean with continuity. It makes a lot of sense to connect these two. I just didn't think they would ever do it, because it was of a different publisher, and it's probably pretty hard. Like, the Xenosaga games are stuck on PS2 because the publisher doesn't do anything with it, with the IP anymore, basically. But yeah, it directly connects it to Xenosaga. So everyone's looking towards this game, because this game is supposedly a spin-off that has nothing to do with the other Xeno games. That they will connect this game in some way to the overall Xenoblade trilogy. or to overall the Xeno series in some way. Like, it just needs to be a small hint that this takes place in the same universe, you know? It's very complicated. It's a lot of stuff. It's one of the deepest rabbit holes you can go into. The Xeno lore in all of the Xeno games is the biggest rabbit hole you could ever go into. And it's why I love it so much, by the way. I don't know. I wouldn't call myself a lore keeper, but I know a lot of the Xeno lore. I also played the Xenosaga games and Xenogears on the channel before this, so you know, if you have a lot of free time, you could also check those playthroughs out. It's a big rabbit hole to go into. Okay, let me go for the eyes real quick. This is so interesting. It's very noticeable in this one. There's a plot twist in this game that I know about, and it's very noticeable in this one. But I won't spoil it. Which eyes do we want? Probably these. I always go for a pretty bright blue, usually. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. They did make a really big effort to actually connect them, like directly. Like there is a radio call in Xenoblade Future Redeemed that directly references events, and it directly references a group, a person, a company from Xenosaga. All three things, you know. Like the company that the radio was made from is directly linked to Xenosaga. Like it's a company from Xenosaga. They mention a person on the radio that is a direct character from Xenosaga. And what was the other thing? A group. A group that is directly tied to Xenosaga. It's a long playthrough, so buckle in because it's going to be a long playthrough. The thing is about face paint, I usually don't like face paint on my characters because it makes them look silly, somewhat. I mean, there is some cool face paint options here if you want them. But yeah, obviously, since this is the next game after they did the whole connecting thing, people will definitely look towards this game to connect back, you know, to the series.
All right, let's, shall we? They staggered me. Huh? They staggered me. Huh?
I usually always use this, I
Here
think.
we go. Huh? We're gonna do great. Nice job. Here we go.
Hello, shall we? Ah, success. Hello.
Huh? 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 We did. Huh? You're in good hands. Huh? You're in good hands now.
I don't think I remember. I know any of these voice actresses.
Oh, all right. Oh, I'm getting. Let's murderate 'em. Huh? We sure owned them. Let's murderate 'em. Let's murderate 'em. Oh, all right. Shall we then? Oh, I've lost my balance. Let's get on with it. Huh. What? What? Yay! We win!
That's literally the voice of Fiora, by the way, from Xenoblade 1.
Hello. Let's get on with it. Shall we then?
Let's go. Shall we? Shall we? They never stood a chance.
Here we go.
Shall we?
You're in good hands.
Shall we? Shall we? It's a pleasure.
Huh? Huh? I hate. Huh?
They never. Huh? They staggered me. They staggered me.
I always like this voice more. This voice most. I don't know, maybe a bit taller would be nice. We haven't really done the skin thing. I kind of like freckles, but maybe a little bit less. Cheeks. Scars. That's a little bit excessive. Maybe this one. I think this works for a character. I don't think there's nothing we can change here. Maybe that's it. But Xenoblade always has had a stellar English dub. That's why, I don't know. I always enjoyed the English dub in Xenoblade games and in the Xeno games very much. God damn it. My nose is killing me. I really want to see what Elma's password would be on this one.
Attention, external access confirmed. Disengaging stasis in 10 seconds.
It really is.
6, 5, 4.
The problem is it's not even running.
2, 1.
It's not even running, it's stuffed to a point where it hinders my speaking during the streams.
Releasing hatch. Please stand clear.
Hey there. Looks like you're all in one piece.
That's good to hear. It's been going on for this entire week and I can't stop it. I just don't hope that any of the sounds I'm making, like the sniffling sounds and whatever, get caught on the audio.
Careful. Just take it nice and slow, okay? Your senses will need time to reactivate.
Well, it's raining like crazy.
Your pod is the only one around that landed intact. Good thing I found you. My name's Elma. You want to tell me yours? You don't even remember your own name? It must be the stasis hangover.
By the way, Elma's
That's
redesign
good.
is stellar.
Just try and focus, all right?
Look, guys, it's Nia. She's back in the game.
Good, there we go. What else you remember?
Kinda.
It'll come. In the meantime, I'll get you up to speed here as best I can. How are your limbs? Can you move? We'll take it easy while you shake the stasis out of your system. One step at a time, all right? First things first, you'll be needing a weapon. There you go. All right, let's get going.
Well. I love how quickly the game starts, by the way. That has always been one of the strength of this game. If you're stunned, yes, I know. Ah, jump. Can I zoom in and out? It depends on the medicine, really. Like, you can get like weird and the normal types of medicine like ibuprofen and stuff. You can get in your what are those things called in English? The drugstores. That's probably not what they are called in English. I don't know. But yeah. Well, here's the menu. And we have an actual working menu that actually is visible and can be seen. That's reassuring. I didn't like the menu in the Wii U version. The menu in the Wii U version was weirdly small, and the text was weirdly small. You know. Yeah, drugstores. Yeah, you can get some medicine for money in drugstores. Some cold medicine, I think, as well, and anything else you have to get a prescription for. Like, I mean, for just small colds, I think you can get everything in the drugstores. But, you know, if you're going to the doctor anyway, they can't prescribe you better medicine. It feels weird playing this game again.
Most of the white whale's life pods didn't survive the crash, like this one. You're one of the lucky few. Right. You don't even remember the white whale, do you?
Nope.
You know, the L002? The ship we escaped Earth on? You remember Earth, right? Planet Earth. Your homeworld. Or rather, it used to be anyway.
There is, yeah.
Unfortunately, it was
The
caught
thing
in a
is-
battle between two alien forces. And destroyed.
Medicine is one of the weird things per country.
Ring any bells? Don't feel bad. It's one memory I'd like to forget. I know. It's been following me for a while now. I didn't want to alarm.
But yeah, it's weird. It's a little bit
Only
more
we did
restrictive
defend
in my
ourselves.
country.
You up to the task?
But I also know that, for example, in the Netherlands, when we go there to on vacation, when we go to the Netherlands on vacation, they are a little bit less strict, and you can just waltz into a regular store in the Netherlands, like in a regular department store, and you can buy like the softer cold medicines like directly in the department store, like ibuprofen and stuff. You can get there like Like they're handing out candy. A bit. Okay, target and draw. Target, draw weapon. Auto attacking. Fuse on arts. Yes. There we go. Thermal damage, inflicts blaze. Honestly, one thing that I would actually like about Xenoblade X and other Xenoblade games, if you could customize your UI a little bit better.
You're not half bad. There's plenty of work back in the city for someone who knows how to handle a weapon, you know.
Look depressed at the idea of work. Sure.
Hey, I'm not trying to pressure you into anything, alright? It'll be your decision in the end.
The answers you can take are generally
Anyway,
funny.
we can talk more details later. For now, let's keep moving.
I don't think they changed much, but they're funny. Yeah, I know the original UI. It's a clusterfuck. Soul voice prompt instructions. Yes, I know that. If you use an art that's highlighted, yes. I actually like that the UI in this game is a little bit bigger, because the original was so goddamn small. Like on a regular screen, you couldn't read it, almost. But one thing that I was wondering is, for example, let me quickly check. For example, this. Like, I was hoping like you could deactivate stuff like the bottom in the bottom menu, the description of what you're using, like the description of what a skill does. Because after after a few battles, you're probably going to know what a certain skill does, so you don't need to have it displayed at all time, you know. Oh yeah, the game screen on the Wii U gamepad was horrible. Settings. Auto track missions, camera. Oh. You can hide the mini-map. That's actually cool. I've been really spoiled by the Monster Hunter Wilds UI. The Monster Hunter Wilds UI is... Like, the Monster Hunter UIs have been really good, and they let you disable tons of stuff, you know? So... Enemy markers, story missions, material tracking, squad tasks. Arts descriptions. Oh, that's actually pretty neat. That's actually pretty neat. I actually enjoy that. Didn't think they would do this, but actually a little bit surprised. Oh, you have to hold it this time. Why did they change it to hold? That's going to throw me off so many times. They changed the action on these things to hold. Did it struggle there a bit? Nah, it seems like it's stable 30. Interesting.
We have to take them on. Start with melee. Salt hammer. Shadow strike.
Need to get back into it.
Flame grenade. Slide. Scream edge.
By the way, it's been a while since I played any of the Xeno games. Especially like...
Alright, let's do it. Let's see what you've got.
Especially like Xenoblade 1 stuff.
Flame grenade.
Back then when this came...
Salt hammer. Roll armor.
Emma, where the fuck are you? Emma?
Upper hand.
Alright.
Firing from on high. Target inside. Shadow strike.
Elma was bugging out a little bit.
Did indecently got him. Let's move.
One thing I would have loved if... Maybe you can do this, but I don't know. There we go. That's it. There we go. We can zoom in and out. Oh my god, you can actually zoom out pretty far. Ah, that's good. That's something I enjoy. Yeah, she was vibing to Black Tar.
Stop us.
I'm actually glad they kept the music as is. Maybe it's new versions of the music, I have to check them out later, but
Grenade.
this game always had a phenomenal soundtrack that was a little bit different from the others.
Appreciate it. We never stood a chance. We got him. Let's move.
Oh no. I remember these pickup items, by the way. These items, I hope they have a better tracking system for them, because holy shit, those were the bane of my existence in Xenoblade X. I have seen a theory
First shot. Target inside.
of someone saying on YouTube
Shadow strike.
that this game is supposedly a simulation for what happens on a exodus from Earth.
They're freaking out.
But that would be actually be interesting.
Roll armor.
I don't wanna be like too straightforward with it yet.
Slide.
It's destroyed. Move in and strike. Yes, we did it. Nice work.
I do hope so. I do hope so very strongly, because it was a very bad system in the original. But yeah, let's fight some things, get a little bit into the battle system already.
Stagger them with a melee.
Have a little break. Shadow strike. Target inside. Flame grenade.
Hopefully,
Roll armor.
because they were a pain in the butt, honestly, to get.
Balance. Sliding.
Move in and strike. We got him. Let's move.
I mean, let's go.
Never stop getting stronger.
I'm wondering if they kept the new LA music, by the way, the nighttime new LA music.
It didn't have to be like this.
We have to take them on. Stop it! My turn. Woo! I am heated up.
From the side boost damage, huh?
Do some damage. Take this. Flame grenade.
Is there an aggro marker? Probably not yet. I'll have to get back into the swing of things, you know.
Shadow strike. Flame upper hand.
Did I go out of combat somehow?
Do some damage. They never stood a chance. We got it. Let's move.
It's been a while since I played this game. I'm already getting equipment items and stuff. Let's go. One of the best moments in the series. By the way,
The rain's starting to let up, just in time for sunrise. Follow me. I promise you're gonna love this.
just straight up vibing. We're going to spend a lot of time in this place. A lot of time.
Pretty wild, huh? They're all indigenous, as far as we can tell. We need to learn to play nice with these guys if we're going to try and coexist together.
Sure. You know, it's the only Xenoblade game where they really nailed the sense of scale of the world, and that's commendable. Like, the world is really as big as it seems here.
We call this planet Mira. You won't find it on any star chart. But it's our new home. Recognize the habitat unit? That's where we're headed. Watch yourself. That first step's a doozy. We can jump if you like. You could handle the fall. But the indigents down there are another story. Some big, some mean, all nasty. Given our options, the high road here would be the safer way to go, relatively speaking.
I really want to see what the map looks like, by the way.
Go, I'll follow your lead. You decide.
Originally, the map was on the Wii U gamepad. So, yeah. That's non-aggressive, no icon. Visually, rect, and auditory. R and B is auto run, huh? Okay.
Hey!
R and up. What? What? Oh my god, that's cool. Okay, that is pretty sick. That is a pretty cool feature, I have to say. Can you zoom? Probably not. Let's go. It's the White Whale Habitat's unity to the east. If you keep proceeding along the cliff top, you should be able to reach it without much difficulty. That's a time changer. I hate that they made it a hold action. But yeah, there's not much point in going into the menu and selecting stuff already. Checking stuff, because I know the game will pick up once we get to New LA. You know? Like they will introduce all of these concepts that we need for exploration down the line, which is why I don't want to do it right now.
Be like this. They're off guard. Stagger them with a melee attack. Shadow strike. Split head. It worked. Close in and seal the deal. Slide. Split flame grenade.
Come on, here we go. Oh, you can set to the camera with this. I forgot how. I forgot how you can run during this as well.
Nice work.
This time we definitely have to get back into the battle system. You know? I remember these things. There is so much to explore here. It's incredible. Also, these structures are insane.
Looks a lot bigger up close, doesn't it? And this was just the habitat unit. The white whale was one hell of a ship. Until it all came crashing down, at least. That's the west gate. It's closed off now for security reasons. But we've repurposed a freight elevator that will get us inside. Grexes. And they're riled.
Well,
We can't leave them roaming here, not this close to the gate. We're gonna have to take them down. You ready?
let's go, Elma. So far, they've done a pretty good recreation of the graphics. Okay.
Bring it on! I'll take the first shot. Make them target in sight! Let that head strike! Appendage destroyed. Move in and strike! They're tough. Touch me up! Stop hammer! Split head!
There we go. Almost.
The hard work paying off. Fling 'em! Now it's my turn. Upper hand. Take this! Shadow strike.
I'm missing so many props here.
Appendage destroyed. Move in and strike. Take this! Flame grenade. Slide knife. Move in and do some.
There we go.
It's a shame we had to settle near so much wildlife. Luckily, some species aren't so hostile, but they aren't necessarily friendly either. I've come to learn that there's a fine line between self-defense and provoking a fight. We need to walk that line. All right, let's head in. Who knows? Maybe seeing the inside will jog your memory.
So fully, they have pretty much faithfully recreated, at least in a graphical sense, the environment and everything. Seems to be pretty much what it was, right? Seems pretty faithful to the original. I'll have to see how the systems pan out, because honestly, the UI already being bigger is like one big deal for me. But there's other systems that I didn't like as much that I hope are fixed now.
Thanks.
Be the new friend that called. Having just woken up after all that time, I'm sure you're dying to get home and take a shower. You want to hit the city, you'll need to use the elevator at the top of the stairs. We'll probably open the gates soon, thanks to the great work you guys did. Killing the monsters that were causing all our trouble. I think I'm going to skim most conversations unless they're really important. You don't even know, this game has tons of dialogue associated with it, and there's way too much dialogue here to read out all of it. Glad they kept the cool jumping. Also the running. The super fast running. Oh my god. The vistas in this game are like crazy good. I mean, what happens if I fire my drone up here? Crazy. My favorite theme from the game, by the way. So good.
Well, here we are. Not too shabby, huh? For a giant beached spaceship, anyway. But, like it or not, this place is our home now. We took the name from the city it was modeled after back on Earth. We call it New Los Angeles. Welcome to NLA.
Goosebumps, by the way. That intro cutscene,
And so it
goosebumps.
was that another survivor came to join our band of refugees. Together, we resolved to forge a new way of life here on Mira. Come what may. New LA was our beautiful lie to ourselves. Truth is, we were adrift, heading into the unknown. Our native home was gone, swallowed in a shroud of light. And our future was uncertain. We had no idea what fate lay in store for us. Only that we had to keep living in order to see it.
This is the best. Seriously. Like, this is what I mean. This game is super strong when it comes to theming. I like it a lot. But in terms of gameplay, the Wii U version was a little bit weird. in points, and I didn't really enjoy a lot of it. To a point where I stopped playing after the midpoint of the game for the Wii U version. But I really, really like the themes going on. I think I'm going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue. Okay, sorry that took a bit, but you know, official cat business, so you guys know what that is like, I hope. But yeah, my cat sometimes has days where he doesn't come home for an entire day, and then he just drops in around this time, around 8 p.m. He just drops into the house to get his food. And today was such a day. I mean, it's okay, but I have to feed him. Give him some food. I don't know, maybe later he will go outside again. He's a very, very outdoors cat. So, you know. Okay, let's continue, shall we? I just got goosebumps from the NLA intro cutscene. He does seem fine. He's just... I don't know, it's weird because he's very slim when he comes home like this. Because he's skipping basically 2 meals.
How about a quick tour of the facilities to refresh your memory?
Let's do that,
start with
Elma.
your living quarters. Follow me.
Brave citizens of New Los Angeles, good day. This is your Director General, Maurice Chausson.
I mean, it's probably...
Today, I once again come to you with news I am truly delighted to share. Yesterday, we repatriated 10 more White Whale crew members. These fellow pioneers will rejoin our ranks as citizens of NLA, bringing with them skills and know-how that will bolster our ability to survive and indeed flourish here in our new home. This, of course, is only the latest success in our continuing efforts.
Director General? Since when?
For the rescue and recovery of
2 days ago, ma'am.
brothers and sisters. I stand here truly humbled and
From political aide to director general in just a few weeks. At this rate, he'll be emperor by next month.
Irina? Gwyn?
Nice work out there, ma'am.
But yeah, what I wanted to say is... It's probably early spring cat time. I don't know what that is called, but because he keeps being outside for longer periods. In winter he was basically out for a few hours at most overnight. But my cat stays out longer these days. Probably spring cat time. I don't know what that is called. Show interest.
Right. Introductions. Irina Akulov, Gwyn Evans.
This one of the survivors, Colonel?
The survivor. I only found a single pod intact at Starfall Basin.
Wait, what? What happened to 10 more crew members?
Come on, seriously? Chausson was never one to let the truth get in the way of a good speech. Still, every last survivor counts. You can call me Irina. I'm with the Interceptors.
Me too. Same division. You can call me Mr. Evans. Or just Gwyn.
The three of us were in the Coalition forces together. Specifically, the Special Operations Heavy Armor Training Unit, aka the Skeleton Crew. I was a colonel and Irina a lieutenant. Gwyn was a more recent recruit. Of course, I keep telling them we don't need those old ranks anymore now that we're here.
You're still Colonel to me, ma'am. No reorg will ever change that. And that's not about chain of command either. It's about respect. You've earned it.
And the award for best ass kiss goes to...
Well, I'd remind you both the ma'ams aren't necessary if I thought you'd listen.
All right, ma'am. We should be getting back to work. Until next time, Colonel.
Right. We should be going too. The administrative district isn't far. That's where you'll be calling home. For now, anyway.
Good. Bring me there. Teach me all the things about New LA. I really, really love New LA. As a location.
That's true on any planet.
I remember that music. Oh yeah.
There you are.
I used the survivor who was found in the life pod. I hear you faced a lot of indigenous out there. It's like you rolled out of bed and into a battlefield. Look, I'm no specialist, but if I were you, I'd worry I pushed my body too far. You should head over to the administrative district for a medical checkup. Thanks. By the way, these conversations that you hear in passing in this game can get very important. Even, you know, progress important. I wonder what duty's been assigned to Arena's team this time. They better watch her back or have to answer to me.
So listen.
There's a great little place called Sunshine Cafe in Commercial District. But yeah, sometimes you overhear conversations that are important and unlock new missions for you. And you don't even know, you know.
Wow, let's see.
I heard gunshots and some sort of dying whale from the other side of the west gate. I guess one of the teams must have been fighting with an indigent. I really hope they finally took out the aggressive indigents that have been causing problems just outside the city. Because in that case, we should be able to reopen the west gate soon.
Hey,
For the sake of a blade operations heading out into the world, please be vigilant about performing your checks. Those brave men and women are fighting for future. It's also big. I really love it. Ouch. Lynn got a graphical upgrade that I actually do enjoy quite a bit. Well, there's nothing the helmet can do for you. By the way, I love her Monado hairpin. Yeah, the graphics look good.
Exhaust smells like, and it was exhaust in the cockpit. Just check the ductwork, would you?
oh, I'm checking. I just seriously doubt. Hey, look at that. The intake exhaust bypass is reversed. Oh man, it's a good thing I caught that.
You caught that? You're the one who cleared me to fly.
Everything okay? It's not like you to flub a flight check, Lynn. Good thing you had a rugged pilot like Doug at the controls.
Oh, hey Elma. How'd it go out there? And would this be one of the you-know-whos? Cool. I'm Lynn Lee Coop, mechanic and top all-around fix-it gal for Blade.
Find out how old Lynn is. Find out what happened with the exhausts. We need to throw it in there before people are starting to get weird intentions with Lynn. She is 13.
She's 13.
Yes,
and
she's
I know,
13.
She looks young, and she is young, but trust me, she's one of our top talents.
Most of the time, that is. Most of the time.
Anyway, you guys heading back to the barracks?
Yeah. Why do you ask?
As long as you're here, why don't I take you on the transport? It's a great way to see the city. I'll give you the grand tour.
That sounds like a great idea.
Alright, Doug, I think that'll be all for today. You can clean up here and dock the Skell.
What?
Don't mind the exhaust. I'll take care of it tomorrow.
Don't mind it? Wait, why am I cleaning up your mess in the first place? Lynn! Lynn!
Her little Monado hairpin is like excellent. Change active party members. Yes. The game is, by the way, very overwhelming right now. It will be for a while. I have a feeling. The game has tons of systems that interact with each other, and I highly doubt they changed any of them really that much. And it's going to stay weird for a while, you know. Can probably go anywhere. You know, there's all tons of stuff that make me wonder what is the deal with this game.
Hey.
For the sake of a blade operator heading out in the world, please be vigilant. Oh. They kept the music. I don't know if they remade it, sort of. I don't know if they remade it. I'll have to check. Once the soundtrack is out on YouTube or something, I'll probably check it out. This game has a great soundtrack that is very different from other Xenoblade games. For sure. But it's still very good.
Not bad, huh? You can see everything from up here.
It beats walking, that's for sure.
The best way to see NLA. I never get tired of this view. It's like a different city every time.
It's certainly come a long way in the last few weeks. There's still so much to be done.
One day at a time.
Speaking of which, we don't really have time for a full pleasure cruise here. Why don't you give us the express tour, Lynn? Just the highlights.
Okay, you got it. New LA is divided into 4 districts. We departed from the industrial district, where Doug and I were conducting the flight test. It has food production, skill development, you know, industries and stuff.
It's also where the West Gate is located, remember? Expect to pass through there fairly often. The only other gate out of the city is in the administrative district, but I'm skipping ahead.
Next is the commercial district. Restaurants, galleries, cafes, clothing, groceries, you name it. It's a veritable shopping paradise.
The CD is the closest thing to a downtown we've got. It can actually get pretty crowded sometimes.
Well, by NLA standards anyway. Day or night, the best and only bargains on the planet.
I love NLA so much.
To your right, the residential district. Housing, housing, and more housing. Well, plus a nice park and the cathedral.
If you're ever looking for quiet time alone, or want to relax and unwind with a good book, that's the spot.
Right? The park is my favorite place to just zone out and chill. And last but not least, our destination, the administrative district, the nerve center at the heart of NLA. Note the distinct dual-level structure here. The upper level holds our administrative tower, home to Blade HQ and the government. Not to mention Armory Alley as well as the barracks where we live. The lower level there is a hangar complex for Skell maintenance and repairs.
Nice.
And this concludes our tour. We will be landing shortly.
Thanks, Lynn. We'll save the rest of orientation for once we're back at the barracks.
So yeah, NLA is pretty big. What I said before is the sense of scale in this game is very good because all of these districts are very big and you can explore on end, you know? Like NLA feels like a regular city. It's a little bit smaller obviously because it's on a spaceship and they had to transport it. But it feels like a genuine city, you know?
Enjoy your stay in the administrative district, and thank you for flying Lindley Airlines.
Right. Let's get you over to the barracks. Then I should file my report. They'll be eager to hear the details on how I found you, I'm sure.
Well then, we'd better not keep them waiting. The barracks are pretty close, actually. They're set up just behind the giant blade tower here. That road there wraps around the left side and leads right to it.
We'll pass through Armory Alley, but let's not get sidetracked, okay? We can check it out later.
By the way, the music is produced by Hiroyuki Sawano. He does a lot of anime soundtracks. Like, he does tons of soundtracks for anime. I don't know which ones, really, because I'm not that huge into anime. But he does tons of anime soundtracks, and that's why the soundtrack is a little bit different than what we are regularly used for Xenoblade. Because usually Xenoblade is made by Ace. What's his name? I'm blanking on Japanese names right now. But yeah, Sawano does a lot of anime soundtracks. And for some reason this is the only game he ever composed for. Really. You know? And the soundtrack is very good, but also very different from what we are used to in Xenoblade. It's actually so cool looking over the Mitsuda. Yeah, obviously. Oh my god, that was hard to remember Mitsuda-san. Holy shit. Why was that so difficult? But yeah, he's like the composer for Xenoblade, right? Like, at least he does all of the good melodic soundtracks. You could literally tell by Xenoblade everything that's like a huge melodic thing going on. It's Mitsuda doing it, and when you when you look at the battle themes, most of them are composed by Ace, because, you know, they are pretty intense usually with Xenoblade.
Feel the hard work paying off.
Now then.
Let's set a course for the barracks. We can sightsee later. Yeah, they were willing to experiment. This is the second Xenoblade game after Xenoblade 1. They were willing to experiment with a completely different composer and a very different style in game. Which is interesting, you know. Inquire. He says strange and unusual stuff my husband picks about the job. He's a pathfinder, so he's always finding crazy space junk and whatnot. I don't think any one of these sells anything right now.
Hey!
Any blade can use a terminal there to purchase new weapons and protective gear. But yeah, the soundtrack is very good for this game as well, you know.
Yes?
I'm sorry, what? You don't know what the town helper is? It's me, silly. We're getting into the different divisions in a bit. But yeah, we're getting an explanation on everything. All of the systems in the game relatively shortly. That's why I kind of want to go for
Here
it.
we are, the Blade Barracks. Consider yourself our guest until we finish getting you registered. Feel free to come and go as you please.
Ask about registration, frown and say nothing.
I think I can answer that one. So, you must be the latest rescue.
Secretary Nagi.
Ms. Koo. Chipper as always, I see.
What can I say? Pep is my middle name.
I ran into Doug Barrett on the way here, and he didn't seem quite so upbeat. Anything about today's flight I should know?
No. Nothing to worry about.
Good. Be sure it stays that way. More importantly, Elma, you found another one. Excellent work out there.
Just doing my job, Mr. Secretary.
Now, as for officially registering our new citizen here...
Why don't we talk inside? There's a lot of ground to cover. It could take some time.
Ah yes, of course. Forgive me. You must be weary from the stasis and your journey back to us.
Yep.
Please, after you.
I'll put on some tea.
So far it's what I'm used from Xenoblade X. I don't know how far we'll get today, really. The intro is very, very strong and very long as well.
Allow me to formally introduce myself. My name is Kentaro Nagi. You may remember me as Captain of the White Whale. Now I serve as Secretary of Defense here for New LA. The provisional government has charged me with keeping the peace, so all military and police matters fall under my jurisdiction.
He's also my superior officer. And he'd be an excellent person to talk to when you're ready to start looking for work.
What about a job right here with Blade? She seems capable.
Let's give it a little more time. At least until she knows enough to be able to make an informed decision. She seems to be suffering from some form of memory loss.
Memory loss? From the stasis?
She could barely remember her name. And nothing at all about what happened to Earth or the White Whale.
I see. Though, come to think of it, the entire lot of us have only been on this planet for what, 2 months? It shouldn't take very long to get caught up.
My thoughts exactly.
Well then, where should we begin?
We ended up on Mira. Information about Blade. Ask about registration.
It started at the end, 2 years ago. The end of Earth. The casualty of a battle between two hyper-advanced alien civilizations. Their technology and weapons were beyond our comprehension. We were like infants, naked, powerless. The Earth was reduced to ash and blown away.
I still wonder if I hadn't been there. If maybe all of this could have somehow been avoided.
No one can know that, Elma. What we do know is without you, there'd have been no Project Exodus, and no escape for any of us. Did it go perfectly? No. But we are here, and we are alive. We survived. So yes, Project Exodus. Once we learned the Earth might be threatened, we needed a plan to preserve all her various life forms. That plan was the Earth Life Colonization Project, otherwise known as Project Exodus.
Well, we only did
Those
save
of us
humans,
who
right?
escaped on the White Whale spent over 2 years wandering in space. 2 hard years. But we clung to our mission. Find a habitable planet and settle there.
We didn't really
We
save
had
a lot
no
of
idea
wildlife
how long it would take.
from Earth.
Or that the decision would eventually be made for us.
The xenoforms found us again, and, well, it wasn't a happy reunion. Earth wasn't enough. They wanted humanity destroyed. For better and for worse, we were close to planet Mira when we lost control of the White Whale. Inertia and gravity took it from there.
The ship had taken way too much damage to survive entering the atmosphere intact. We had no choice. We channeled all the power we had left to soft land the habitat. Once the dust cleared, we set to work transforming it into its current state. Searching for survivors, establishing Blade, installing the provisional government. Basically, making it a sustainable city.
Blade is an acronym. Builders of a legacy after the destruction of Earth. Quite fitting, I think. It's a relatively new organization.
Yeah, Noah's Ark if
There in
you
space, we had
did away
plenty
with
of
the
provisions,
animals.
and a crew trained to handle the limited amount of situations we might encounter in our travels. But of course, all that changed after we lost most of our ship and came crashing down here on Mira. We needed food, water, search and rescue teams, surveyors, police. The list goes on and on. It was too much for the provisional government to manage on its own, so Blade was born. The idea was to have one central organization with different disciplines to fill these various roles. Its core was pulled from the Coalition military, so it's mostly former soldiers. But fighting isn't our most important duty. Right now, we have a single top priority that supersedes all others. The search for and recovery of the Lifehold.
Take a look at this.
Ooh.
The White Whale was designed to carry an exceedingly large number of passengers, all of them held in stasis. All housed in a structure called the Lifehold. This is a complete schematic of that facility. Only essential personnel were conscious and active for the journey from Earth. The flight crew, maintenance engineers. And of course, some military so we could defend ourselves if necessary. But the vast majority were in the lifehold. Are in the lifehold. With any luck, they're all still there, in stasis, waiting to be rescued. But there's a problem. We now know the lifehold broke apart along with the rest of the ship when we came down on Mira. What we don't know is exactly where all the pieces landed. Not very comforting, I know. Blade's top priority now is locating the missing units.
Yeah, this is actually scary, by the way.
Ah, yes. All citizens of NLA are required to register their name, age, and occupation. We also ask you report any personal assets and take a short survey regarding your current state of health. All purely as a precaution. I'm sure you understand. As the caretakers of humanity's survival, we all have certain responsibilities.
And hey, it's not all bad. Registering gets you access to all kinds of public services.
In any case,
Not in my
a
America.
lot to digest.
Sorry.
We're wanting some time. Ms. Koo, even I'm tired of hearing myself speak. Why don't you take our guest out for some air? Perhaps a tour of the administrative district.
Yes, sir. Come on, we'll keep this briefing brief.
That was a small dig at the US. For any of you who don't know. I mean, come on. This whole city is modeled after Los Angeles. And it has a big United States on it on the outside. And they are literally talking about, hey, this thing gives you a lot of public services. Like, seriously? Not in my America. We have hyper-capitalism. Press R to display the navigation panel in the bottom right of the screen. Yes. It is. I would have to say, as always, it's a Japanese version of what America looks like. The Japanese guy's version. Like a Japanese people's version of what America is, you know. A very idealized country. It's not the hellhole that is on fire that it is currently, you know. At least when this game came out, it still wasn't a hellhole that is on fire. Holo figures. But yeah, there's all sorts of facilities here that you can use later on in the barracks. This is a place for all your Skells later. Like, there's so much to look forward to in this game, by the way. Like, the moment, like, it's very, very late that you get your mechs. But once you get them, the game opens up so much. It's actually so good. But yeah, for now, we don't have mechs available for us. Now, this game is very good, so if you intend to play it, please do.
You know, it's not every day we're authorized to let a civilian tour the administrative district.
Yeah. Nagi must really, really want her to join Blade.
The AD is a bit different from the other districts. It's got everything a Blade would need, all in one place, without any extra fluff.
get a load of that Skell. Even the way that they walk is so cool.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, work it, baby.
I like your attitude, kiddo. I'll show him a thing or free. Ask what a Skell is.
What? You don't remember what a Skell is? That gorgeous exoskeleton that just went by? Basically like the most incredible, awesomest super weapons ever? Lasers, force fields, bipedal and vehicular transformations. Sorry, just... I get so excited whenever I think about it.
Originally, Skells were developed as a defensive measure to counter potential alien threats. It wasn't enough to save Earth, though. We were outnumbered and outgunned. Still, just look around you. New LA has gone from basically nothing to this in just 2 short months. We could never have come so far, so fast, without Skell technology. I'd love to get you into one to see for yourself, but it's not that simple.
Well, yeah, duh. For one thing, only Blades are allowed to pilot Skells. And even then, you need a license.
These aren't toys we're talking about. They're complex machines with powerful weapons. And they're a precious resource. We only have so many of them to go around. So yes, as you might imagine, the certification process is a fairly rigorous one.
I'm sure you're thinking, where do I sign up for the test? But it's not that simple. They choose you, not the other way around. You can't just walk in the front door and volunteer.
There is some criteria. The details are largely hidden, but basically, HQ only allows the cream of the crop to take the test.
Oh yeah.
Blades who go above and beyond in their duties, and for the people of New LA in general.
So what do you say? If you become a Blade and work hard, I'm sure it'll only be a matter of time before they tap you on the shoulder.
Speaking of work, that reminds me. Why don't we check out the mission control board first? That's where we take on our assignments.
Good call. Let's head on over.
Yeah, it'll be a while until we get to use our own Skells. But once we do, we will be reminded that this is still America and a capitalist hellhole. Because, spoiler alerts, I mean, if you care enough, but Skells are fucking expensive, and they do have insurance attached to it. They need refueling and they have insurance attached to it. Just crazy. It's a capitalist hellhole still, but okay. Yeah, this is the mission control panel.
So this is mission control. We don't have a dispatch system yet, so Blades usually choose their own assignments. Everyone comes here and selects from the missions available on the board.
And it's not just official Blade tasks. Anyone with a request is free to post here. Businesses, citizens, whoever.
Yeah, it's basically how anything gets done in New LA, so the board is constantly updating. Just about every Blade will stop by here at some point in their shift.
It's like our second home. You'll always find a number of Blades around here, blowing off steam or browsing mission control for their next assignment.
Whenever I get freed up, I'll stop here first thing to check for any missions I might be suited for.
Likewise. And if the assignment seems too tough to handle solo, that's what the Scout console is for. We should show you that next.
Hey, who's giving this tour anyway? We also have the Scout console, if the assignment seems too tough to handle solo. And Elma just said that, didn't she?
I love this game. How the heck am I supposed to pull off this jump by myself? It's madness. Wanna come along and help? Hello, mission control. You cannot use it. Yeah, I'm not a Blade. Hey, Eleonora, you're my best friend, right? This is mission control. As a blade, you can. Oh, I see that you haven't yet registered as a blade. Well, if you do register and join a division, you'll be able to accept missions right here. I understand that you haven't yet decided what role you wish to play here, and that's fine. But I believe you will make a splendid blade. Trust me, I've seen of countless blades standing right here. I know talent when I see it. This is the Scout console over here.
Ta-da! The Blade Scout console. When the going gets tough, the tough go to the Scout console. You know, to get tougher.
If you do end up joining us, you'll quickly realize just how important this little kiosk is. A lot of the mission control assignments are too much for any one blade to handle. They tend to call for multiple members with specialized knowledge or unique skills. This console lets you search for and recruit other blades to fill those roles for just such an occasion.
You can't spell blade without team. Sorta. Anyway, awesome, right? So, you ready to join up?
Hang on, Lynn. Take it easy, would you?
What? I'm just saying you'd have to be some kind of an idiot not to want to join Blade. Or maybe a crazy person.
Oh, and here I thought you might be pressuring our guest.
Apology accepted. Now, how about a little shopping? And I'm not talking about the stuff over in the commercial district. I'm talking about Armory Alley.
But yeah, tons of systems you have to be aware of. There is an online mode attached to this. I definitely think they did. They did attach an online mode to this, and I think, well, the original Wii U version had an online mode, and I think they ported it back over as well. Probably just a little bit better, because the Wii U's online mode was a little bit more clunky. But it should be okay with the Nintendo Switch Online. By the way,
Street's what we call Armory Alley.
I have a free...
Blades can requisition equipment from any of the vendors here.
I won't lie. Most Blade members face danger on a daily basis. Having the latest gear isn't about impressing your friends. It's a matter of survival.
True enough. And that goes not only for your personal armor and weapons, what we call ground gear, but for Skell equipment as well.
You can even buy whole Skells. Can you imagine owning your own Skell?
Yeah, I can.
Huh? Oh, right, the door. I think all that's left is the heart of Blade itself. Blade Tower.
But yeah, came with the game. I have a free 7-day trial available that I don't need because I have the online subscription. So, you know, if you want, I'm willing to give it away. If you need it, if you want it, if you want to try out the online, maybe hit me up on Blue Sky or something. I can send you the code if you want it. It came with the game, you know.
Hey!
I'm paying for the subscription because honestly it's the best one out of all of the console subscriptions. I get all of the like I get a ton of stuff out of the Nintendo Switch Online app with all of the retro games that were like I'm playing them on my Switch. It saves me a lot of it has a lot of convenience to it, you know. Because I can just play it on my Switch. It has an HDMI port attached to it. I can just pop my Switch back into and we can stream it from there. So yeah.
So yeah, Blade Tower. When we come here, it's usually to stop by Blade HQ. The higher-ups, like Secretary Nagi and Commander Vandam, will spend most of their day.
Commander Vandam, huh?
The government leaders, too. They're based in the tower. Guys like our new Director General Maurice Chassan, for example.
Blades sometimes report to the leadership here after we finish key assignments. You'll want to remember this place.
And that about does it for our tour. So, what do you think?
Pretty amazing setup, right? You can't wait to join Blade, right?
Okay, Lynn, seriously, that's enough. We're not here to make a sales pitch. We just want you to have all the facts so you can make an informed decision to join us, or not.
Ah, yeah. That's obviously
Now that you've seen where and how we work, hopefully it made a good impression, but your decision will be just that, your decision. In any case, let's head back to the barracks. Secretary Nagi will be waiting.
Yeah, I mean, just in case you need it. I'll probably give it away somewhere. If you're confused about anything, you can check the tips. Yeah, okay. Let's save. That's a good name, right? Commander Vandham. No direct connection to Rex and the Xenoblade 2 Vandham, I'm afraid. As far as I know. Come on, game, don't gatekeep me.
Yeah?
What's wrong?
The members of each division have their own responsibilities, but mine is primarily guard duty. Lately there have been reports of dangerous indigents appearing near the entrances to the city. That's why we seal the gates and take in the defensive posture. We've tightened our guard to the extent that there's absolutely no chance of an indigent infiltrating the city. But now I hear that Alma and some new gal already slaughtered the Grexpack that prowled outside the west gate. So I guess we all ought to thank Team Alma for the successful counter-offensive. Thanks. But yeah, the intro can be a little bit long-winded because there's tons of systems that you need to be aware of that intersect with each other and are especially important for gameplay.
Yes, very amusing.
He's just
Who
sitting
wants a
there.
fresh cup of tea?
Thank you, Ms. Gu, but I can't stay long. I just wanted to pass along a request from your commanding officer.
Commander Vandam? Does it have anything to do with our new arrival?
Correct. He stopped by while you were out on your tour. He said he'll come back, but that I shouldn't wait to ask you.
Here we go. I bet I can guess.
You probably can. He wants to fast-track our new friend here for blade duty with a training assignment.
What in the hell are we waiting for?
As he put it.
The commander does have a way with words.
Makes even my pitch sound smooth.
I explained about the memory issues, but he didn't see it as a problem. And to be honest, given our current need for blade recruits, I can't say I entirely disagree.
Hey, it's not me you need to convince. Blade service is voluntary, remember?
Of course, and I would never force or coerce anyone. Well, friend, what do you say? Can we count on you to do your part?
Sure. What if I just refuse? You know, I'm just going to, I'm going to live in the housing district and I'm just going to play video games all day and do nothing else, really. You know? The game would basically be over. Sure, let's do it.
I knew you'd make the right choice. Welcome to the organization. Elma, she can start on your team. You'll begin training immediately.
Yes, Mr. Secretary. With pleasure.
All right. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club.
I don't even know what it does if you actually refuse here.
Let's discuss that training assignment. We've decided to start you out on a probe installation, just to get your feet wet.
I guess we should back up a bit. Here in New LA, we're using a specialized computer system called Frontier Nav to help us deploy a sensor grid across Mira. A network of data probes that allows us to monitor conditions and collect all kinds of information about the planet.
Yeah, like the bad ending in Super Mario. In Super Paper Mario, I mean.
Here,
yeah.
Take a look at this. What you're seeing on screen is a terrain map that includes New LA and the surrounding landmass. As you can see, we've divided the area into a series of hexagonal blocks. We call these blocks segments. Together, they form our grid. We determined this was the most efficient pattern, given the limited range of our probes. Based on it, we know exactly where we need the probes to go. Now we just have to install them.
The sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned. The Frontier Nav probes can also detect the general locations of living things in the vicinity, which comes in handy if we need to track down a blade or another citizen.
Yes, quite handy indeed. So for this first exercise, you'll be heading here, to that white segment. Go there, install the data probe, and then come back home.
Got it. East of the city.
In that case, we can take the east gate out of the administrative district, right? We should be there in no time.
I'll leave the details on the data probe installation procedure to you, Emma.
Of course, Mr. Secretary. All right, you two, shall we?
Yeah! Training or not, let's go install the hell out of that probe.
Sure. Let's see. I don't even remember how many chapters there are. Let me quickly check the map. Party, ground gear. Weapons power rating is a value that broadly expresses how strong a weapon is. Weapons TP gain rating is a value that broadly indicates how easy it will to build up TP while fighting. Proto knife. Let's see, attack value up. Stability is better. That's definitely better what we have currently. Advanced at least they color coded what we can and can't use. This one's straight up better, so we're going to equip that. One survival headset. Prototype bodywear. But yeah, they brought back the equipment actually shows up on your character as well, which I do enjoy. That was like one of the best parts of Xenoblade 1, right? That the equipment actually shows on your character. Mirren Archives. Characters, races, organizations, locations, keywords. Interesting. It has a whole archive system. I'll take that. But yeah, the data probes are a huge part.
Assignment to the east of the city this time. It'd be a long walk all the way back over to the west gate.
Hold on. Are we even sure the East Gate will be open? Last I heard, it was still on lockdown from all the high-level indigent activity.
It was, but they just lowered the threat level earlier today. The gates are officially open for business. One of our teams must have gone out there and kicked some furry indigent butt, huh? Seriously? That was you? Cool.
I don't think so. Those Grexes we took down were fairly routine. Definitely not something they'd lock both gates over, at least.
Then I take my cool back. But wait a sec. You guys fought Grexes? The two of you?
There's seriously some really cool armor
Still
choices
pretty
here.
Cool. They've
By
been
the way.
hassling a lot of teams lately, especially how they hunt in packs and all.
Like, really cool looking
Let's not
armor
get too excited.
here.
Confidence can be good. Overconfidence can be fatal, especially when you're new.
Yeah, you're right.
Also,
But enough talk. We've got our mission to deal with.
I have seen
Let's
that they
head
have
out.
the option for you to get
Roger.
like appearance
That probe
settings.
isn't gonna install
So you can
itself.
set
Let's get to the East Gate, shall we?
basically an appearance armor that will just overlay over your regular armor. So that's cool, you know. I always enjoy things like that. This is Eleonora, Blade Support Leads. Do I always need to open the map like this? But yeah, this is our map, by the way. By the way, each of these segments, each of these hexagons has at least one thing to complete in it, to complete it. Like these, we completed these by basically taking out something. I think those were like boxes we opened, right? But yeah, each segment can have like boxes that need to be opened. They can have missions in them that you need to finish in order to complete them, or whatever. There's other justifications. There can also be several different on one box of these grids. And you will see when we go outside how many there are actually. There's a ton of quests and side content. That's like one of the bigger things. The side content in this game is really interesting and really good. Like, that's where the meat of the game lies, or really is the really good side content of this game, you know?
Hey,
Let's go out the East Gate this time. But yeah, this game has really, really, really deep and good side content, and if you really want to get the best out of it, you definitely should do the side missions.
Hey. Yes?
Why not get used to battling indigents by fighting some Ovis? This place is lousy with them after all. Unlike Grexes and other more ferocious indigents, Ovis won't even attack unless you hit them first. That makes them useful as training dummies. Another piece of advice, don't mistakenly pick a fight with any of the dangerous creatures near Serum Lake to the north. Numerous skilled interceptors have fallen to the indigents in that area. As noble a goal as protecting the city is, it's not worth risking your life like that. If you ever catch the eye of one of those indigents, just turn and run away. Also, I'll have to see how it intersects with the online mode and how good the online mode is. Like, this could be a game that I'll be playing for a long time just because it has a good online mode. As far as I remember, the Wii U online mode was very populated still, to the very end, you know? Like the Xenoblade X online mode on the Wii U was very populated with people still. So...
I'll take the first shot. Make 'em count.
I've got some pepper fire.
Shadow Hammer.
Come with blood before they get out.
Yes, we did it. We got him. Let's move.
So we'll see how good it is.
I'll take the first shot. Make him count. Split X, lightning fire. Shadow strike. Salt hammer. You're freaking out. Topple them with your blast. Split egg. You won't. Close it and seal the deal. They never stood a chance.
Let's keep it up.
The gameplay definitely feels very different from Xenoblade 1, by the way. Even though it has the same like overlay grid with the arts at the bottom and the draw weapon stuff from Xenoblade 1.
All right.
But it
let's
feels
take
very
our
different. It
first
feels
step.
faster, you know?
Have a little break.
More fluid than Xenoblade 1.
Hammer.
Fire, fire, fire. And it's down. We can lay it.
This one's gonna cut deep. That's intense. Move in and keep the rhythm going. They never stood a chance.
Very much so. So if you're used to Xenoblade 1, you might find this is a very different and more fluid battle system, which might be a good thing, but also could be a bad thing. Because there's a lot more going on.
All right, let's do it. Engaging. Lay down some fire for me. Got it. Now follow.
The ability to run in combat feels really good, by the way.
And it's down. Weaken him and lay it.
This one's gonna cut deep. Early bird.
Thanks a bunch.
That one dented.
Also, you have a
Move in
fucking
and keep the
gun
rhythm going.
as well.
Wild down.
They never stood a chance. We got him. Let's move.
We'll probably not get to hear Black Tar in its fullest for a while. Which is
All right,
interesting.
let's do it. Fiery shadow strike.
That's right, fire.
Slide. Move in and do some damage. Take this. Infuriate.
There we go, now we have aggro on us.
Use an aura. Control the battle. Roll armor. Slide.
I kinda like the battle system still. It becomes very hard later on. No, this gun doesn't overheat like Sharla's. Luckily.
I'll take the first shot. Target in sight.
Whack. And it's
Shadow
down.
strike.
We can lay it. Fire carnival.
Soul hammer. SciFiRPG. Nice. Move in and do some damage. Infuriate. Split egg. Early bird. Close in and seal the deal. Roll armor.
It's a really good battle system. I just,
They never stood a chance. We
I don't know, around the level 30 to 40 mark is usually where it gets so tough that I'm actually struggling a bit. I hope it's better in this game
I'll take the first shot. Target in sight.
than in the Wii U version.
Fire carnival.
Shadow strike. Close in and seal the deal. Come to the blood before they get up.
Flame grenade.
Early bird.
Wild roll armor.
I owe you one.
Close in.
Well, I think we got a grip with the armor system. Why is there tons of bodies here? This doesn't look good.
What the hell happened here?
Honestly, my nose is feeling a lot better now.
don't think that one Sinicula could have killed all these simius. Unless... what?
This is bad.
What's bad? I don't follow you.
That Sinicula. It's a tyrant.
Huh? But it looks just like any other Sinicula.
Think about it. Your typical simius is way higher up on the food chain than your typical Sinicula, right? Usually we'd find one simius standing over 3 or 4 Sinicula corpses. But here, the tables have been turned. And I don't see a single trace of any other indigents in the area. There's only one explanation. That Sinicula is a tyrant.
Let me check the Blade Report database. If there's a tyrant this close to the city, someone must have run across it. Bingo. There was a Sinicula tyrant sighted not too long ago, but it was a couple of segments further out.
It could have followed the blade that spotted it back towards New LA, or come here to feed, or who knows what.
That's crazy. I can't believe there's a tyrant right on our doorstep and HQ isn't doing a thing about it.
Well, don't forget why they sent us here in the first place. Frontier Nav's range is still limited.
Oh, right. They couldn't track it if there's no local probe. They must have lost it when it went off the grid.
Yeah, I'm watching out for Arcweld right now. Or a Radar. Probably. You know. Well, Radar not really. It's probably more of a Uthduna in this environment, you know. Let's attack.
Whoa there, rookie. We're talking about a tyrant here. Do you even understand what that means?
We should probably explain. Tyrant is our term for any indigenous life form that falls outside of our usual threat ranking system. In other words, they're too powerful for us to even measure how dangerous they would be to take on.
And too powerful doesn't always just mean physically strong. If a creature has even a single especially nasty trait, it's classified as a tyrant.
Even some of Blade's very best teams have come back with serious injuries after running into a tyrant in the field. If they come back at all.
Should suggest a free if you can handle it. Say you can just leave it so close to New LA.
As long as you understand the risks involved.
Let's take it down.
Lynn?
Count me in. The same goes for everyone in New LA, but if we're gonna settle here on this planet, we're gonna have to get used to dealing with tyrants now and then. Besides, if I need to, I can always run away while it's busy chewing on one of you guys.
Fair enough. But don't push it, okay? Either of you. If we can take it down, great, but if not, even just luring it away would be a moral victory. As long as we buy enough time to install the probe, we can use Frontier Nav to track it, or any other tyrant that comes this close to the city from now on. Just make sure you're ready before we attack. This will be tougher than anything else we've faced.
Let's do it. Also, let's hear the really amazing Tyrant battle music. Engaging a Tyrant is a small task. It's important to equip your best before charging in, so double check all your weapons or gear. Will do. Let's look at our ground gear. I think we have an advanced iron knife. It has a little bit less stability and a lot less cooldown. But its attack power is pretty good. We don't have anything better than that, right? Storm Assault Rifle? Yeah, no. What we can do is arts. This is something we haven't done yet. And we don't have many arts unlocked yet. Now these we will unlock later. What's more important is that we upgrade them. We have 34 already. So yeah, hit scaling, cooldown down. Cooldown down is good. You can upgrade arts several times, which is important. Assault Hammer has quite the big cooldown, so I'd rather get that. Let's use Slit Edge and Assault Hammer the most, really. So yeah, that's it. Skills. But yeah, certain classes can unlock certain skills that you can use in your skill slots. These are passives usually, you know. Boost beam damage, boost resistance to stagger, and all of that. These are passive skills. Classes. We have a class tree. You can use different classes that all have very different playstyles, which is good. Soul voices. These are... This is one of the things I don't get about the game at all, is the soul voices. Draw melee, opening art, HP peril. There's so much customization going on. These are the shouts that you do during combat. We'll get into that later. So yeah, let's try that. Destroying appendages. You can aim your attacks in the particular parts of your enemies. You're reducing the appendage health gauge to 0 will destroy it. You can change the part you aim at with R and Y or A. Additionally, destroying appendages before defeating an enemy may yield additional rewards in battle spoils.
How is this even remotely fair?
There we go. Let's go for that leg.
Lay down the fire for me. Assault Hammer! I won't miss this shot. Slide, slinger. Fire,
But yeah, you can break certain appendages. It's kind of like a Monster Hunter concept, which I do enjoy. There we go. There we go.
Use an aura. Get control of the battle. Sliding slinger. Fire carnival. Move in and
There we go. It actually does something for some monsters. You can like cut off tails and stuff like in Monster Hunter. Let's keep aggro on us. Okay. That was quicker than I thought it would be.
We are awesome!
Nice work, Lynn. You fought well. You did too. Now let's get down to business and install that data probe. If we stay here for long, there's no telling what other playmates might show up. This beam of light indicates a frontier nav site. It marks the ideal spot to bury the probe.
Good, 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 good.
Okay, the probe should be ready for insertion. I'll just boot it up.
Thanks, Lynn. The top half of the cylinder contains the probe itself. The bottom half is a laser. It dissolves the soil so the probe can burrow to the proper depth. We tried just planting them on the surface at first, but we kept running into problems with the local wildlife damaging the goods. Burying them is going to save us all a lot of time and headaches in the long run. We all set?
Yes, ma'am. Whenever you're ready.
Why don't you do the honors? You can launch it right from your comm device. Give it a try.
Let's launch the probe ourselves, please.
Good. Now we just need to give it a minute to reach the target depth.
And installation complete. We are now online with a solid connection to Frontier Nav.
Excellent. See, at the end of the day, there's really not much to it. The hardest part was calculating the ideal probe locations. We need them spread out evenly to maximize data collection.
Yep, planting probes is easy. And the more we plant, the more likely we are to find missing crew. So anytime you see a probe site, there's no excuse not to plant that sucker.
That'll do it for your training. Let's head back to the barracks and report to Secretary Nagi.
We should. But yeah, that was a great introduction. Frontier Nav probe sites, or FN sites for short, are optimal locations to plant data probes. You can go to the main menu map segments to see which segment contains Frontier Nav probe placement spots. Now all that's left is to report back to base, but first I'll let you know a secret. A giant beast like that is usually best engaged with a Skell. Neutralizing a foe like that on foot, especially a tyrant, is pretty risky. Okay. Segment Recon shows the details of the tasks that need to be performed in each segment. Each category is shown with its own icon. Resolving these increases your survey rates. There's a segment recon task still to address at your current location. A yellow hexagonal area will be displayed at a minimap. Interesting, that's new. Segment marker indicates the borders of a segment you're currently occupying. You can also go to main menu map segments. Many set segment markers will be displayed as blue hexagonal area. That's cool, that's something new they added. Because this map, by the way, was always displayed on the Wii U touchscreen. But yeah, you can see the entire world, by the way, now. Like, this is how many hexagonal areas there are. You know? This is the entire world map here. That's big birds over there. You know, I would like to have the registration complete today, so that tomorrow... So far they kind of work still good without the view menu. I would like it if the map had a shortcut, really. But that's probably not going to... It has... Okay. The map has a shortcut. It's the Y button. You can always open it and look at it. Seems to work pretty well for what the game was. Like, the one thing that was on the Wii U gamepad was just a map. When you were playing regularly on your Wii U with a TV attached, you could switch the map screen and the Wii U gamepad screen to have the game only on the Wii U gamepad, so you can only play on the Wii U gamepad. But it wasn't really good, I think. I think this way is just better. But yeah, I'd like to complete the Blade registration today. Obviously. If I can.
Great.
So that next time we can really get into the groove of exploring.
Commander Vandam.
Well, now look what the cat dragged in.
Sorry we missed you last time. We could have come to meet you at HQ, you know.
Indeed. I suggested as much. Twice.
And we know how much I enjoy being told what to do. Anyway, I hear you tangled with a tyrant, way out of your league, on a training mission, no less. That was reckless, and goddamn magnificent.
Well, Commander Vandam is a cool guy.
So, Commander, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit here today?
Well, I can't just ask Nagi to do everything for me. I'd be out of a job.
Hey, I delivered you the new recruit, didn't I?
Yeah, you won the bet. Don't worry about it, all right? I'll settle up with you later. You know I'm good for it.
The bet?
I'm sure I'm needed elsewhere. If you'll all excuse me, Commander.
Well, that wasn't obvious at all.
Huh. Look at you two. I swear, you're like two children excited about a new toy.
Look who's talking. I don't recall ever seeing you file a request to personally train a rescue before.
Is that so odd?
It is before we'd even asked her to become a blade, little Miss Stick in the Rear.
Usually I ask when I don't get your slang expressions, but something tells me to just let that one go.
Enough about that.
Oh, I love this.
Anyway, I still haven't been introduced to our new...
The game is also pretty funny, I have to say.
Commander Vandam is Blade's top officer.
In a past life, I was chief engineer on the White Whale. Same idea, basically. Someone has a problem, I fix it.
Also, I like his tattoo.
Not much for conversation, are you?
So you still haven't told us why you're here. From the look of things, I'm guessing this isn't a social call.
You don't think?
No. So let's cut the crap and get down to business.
Ha! Sounds like you're learning my expressions just fine, Elma. Anyway, first we need Chatty Cathy here to choose a division and pull an assignment.
Chatty Cathy?
Whoa there, Itchy Trigger. I know you're just chafing at the bit to run out there and grab the world by its tail, but you need to choose a division first. Once that's all hashed out, we can get into detail about what your first assignment's gonna be.
Pretty much everyone in New LA works for Blade, in one of several different fields. Helping to explore Mira, or to maintain order in the city, or, well, you remember Nagi's speech, right? There are 8 different fields in all, and each one has its own branch within Blade. Officially, they're called divisions. Naturally, you'll want to choose one that best suits your personality and your talents.
Let's start with the Pathfinders. Pathfinder's #1 responsibility is planting data probes, like you did on your training mission. It may not be the sexiest job, but important? You bet your ass it's important.
I love his speech.
We've only been on Mira 2 months. We don't know jack about this place. The more probes we install, the faster we can get our bearings here and give ourselves a fighting chance.
We've already detailed how important it is we expand the Frontier Nav network ASAP. So, for the time being, I'll just remind you of the highlights. It helps us keep Blade safe. It helps us keep the city safe. And most important of all, it's the key to locating the missing parts of the Lifehold and recovering the rest of the human race.
Okay, next up, Interceptors. You met Akalov and Evans, right? Irina and Gwen?
These are pretty
This is
important,
their
by the way.
Interceptors have one main duty.
Like the divisions.
Protect New LA and everyone in it from the wildlife.
You're getting a full. You're going to get to choose your
Right
division
now,
that you
this is
want.
probably our busiest division.
You know.
Interceptors ride shotgun for the research eggheads. They escort VIPs around, and they help any other idiots who get caught out there with their pants down.
Next are the Harriers. Remember Doug Barrett, the Skell pilot conducting the test flight with Lynn? He's part of the Harriers. If you think of the Interceptors as defense, Harriers would be New LA's offense. They specialize in preemptive strikes on clear and obvious threats. But only on clear and obvious threats. They're not meant to go out and just blast any indigene that moves.
I wouldn't do
And
that.
you got your Reclaimers. These guys are in charge of finding the other pieces of the White Whale. Among other things, that is. Including anything of ours left behind after a battle. Skell debris, weapons, personal effects. It can get a bit morbid, frankly, but it's gotta be done. Until we're up and running here on Mira, and have this place completely figured out. Everything we brought from Earth needs to be treated.
We're going to
like
intersect with all of
irreplaceable.
them, by the way. You can't just take missions from all of
Also,
them.
The search for the Lifehold. That's mostly on the Reclaimers.
Next, Curators. Curators are the first to scout ahead to unexplored territory.
Like, you will accept
Back
missions
whatever
from all of
samples they
them.
can get
You
their
just
hands on.
belong to
Fruits,
one of them.
bugs, sticks and stones. You
You
name
know.
it. It's not all picking berries, though. Being a curator also means being the first to encounter unknown indigents.
Next? Alright, Prospectors. Prospectors do, well, prospecting. They poke around, looking for minerals, resources, and whatnot. Things we need for everyday life here. We packed all the essentials we could on the White Whale, but that won't last forever. We need to be able to replenish our water and fuel if we want to survive. And sooner or later, we're gonna have to figure out how to replace things from scratch. From the socket on a Skells knee joint, right down to the frying pan in Lynn's kitchen. Without these guys busting their butts, we'd have no future to speak of.
Next up, Outfitters. All of our ground gear and Skell weaponry is developed in conjunction with private arms manufacturers, or AMs.
Oh, look.
Outfitters are Blade's way of supporting these
It's
AMs.
the American hellhole again.
They'll seek out anything that might inspire new weapon ideas, and even assist with testing new prototypes.
Finally, the Mediators. These are the folks who keep everything hunky-dory with John and Joan Q public. Any problems a civvy has, they come to Mediators. Fight with your neighbor? Mediators. Lost cat? Mediators. It's not a division for everyone. You need to be a jack of all trades, and a people person. Someone with my charming personality? Probably not the best mediator. But if you got what it takes, it's a clutch role, keeping things cool on the home front.
All right, so I think that's all 8 divisions. Any idea which one you'd like to join? Don't fret about it too much. Whichever you choose, you still have a lot of freedom in how you operate.
That's true, yeah.
Mediators can still get out there and mix it up, hunt indigens, whatever. And if a Harrier wants to take a break and settle an argument, that's their prerogative too. To be honest, even though it's sort of frowned upon, you can actually change your division whenever you like. So there's really no reason to stress about this. Alright, you ready to choose?
I'm ready.
We're on pins and needles here.
Let's select our division. Usually the ones that are most interesting to me are definitely interceptors or harriers, obviously. Interceptors to protect New LA, obviously, from monster threats. Like, these are the ones that are most combat specific, right? So usually I choose one of those. The others are cool, but I think I love the interceptors most. Carriers are cool as well. I don't know. I might choose the Harriers this time. Yeah, I think I'm going to choose the Harriers.
Then it's settled?
Yes, it's settled.
Alright. Thank God that's over. By the power invested in me, yada yada, you're officially a blade.
Congrats, and welcome.
There we go.
I know you're gonna do great.
You can choose whatever one you like, what suits best for you. But I always like the combat-specific ones the most.
Now for the job. Let's get down to brass tacks.
It doesn't really change too much in the game.
Nelson's team has gone missing. Last contact we had, they were installing a data probe out in eastern Primordia. Then, nothing.
Nelson. Pathfinders, right?
Are we talking indigents here or what?
Your guess is as good as mine, but they did have a Skell with them. You'd think they could hold their own, or at least run away.
Alright, we're on it. We'll head to their last known location and go from there.
Report whatever you find ASAP.
Of course. Let's move out.
Roger that.
I think the only thing that really changes is that I think you get more experience and money and all of the things. You get more from specific missions that involve your division, you know. So for example, if you choose a Harrier mission, if I choose now a Harrier mission, I will get more money and experience from that, I think. I think that's the only thing that changes, really. You're officially a blade now. Become one of us grants you access to a variety of services, including shop terminal, the AM terminal, mission control, and more. Some services still off limits. I wish you could zip straight back into a place you visited. Well, we have the fast travel, instantly. Okay. Missions, compromise duties, and requests received directly from concerned parties. Story missions. These missions advance the game's main story. Affinity missions. These missions heavily feature your team members. You can accept them whenever you see the relevant icon. Normal missions. Mostly requests from NLA citizens of fellow blades. Basic missions. Simple tasks like defeating enemies or collecting items. You can accept up to 20 for mission control. Tyrant info. Blade reports are communication tool that residents of Mira use to share useful information they come across. When you visit a segment for which you haven't completed the segment recon yet, you may receive a blade report post. Okay. Tons of stuff that they add here. And I think I'm going to save here. It can be fun. I just hope that they changed enough of the systems, because obviously it wasn't perfect back in the day. Actually, the tracking system of like some of the missions, like more of the mundane missions, some of the collection missions you get on the Blade terminal were so incredibly asinine to get to, because they featured like items that are super hard to find, and you have no idea where to find them because it doesn't mark it on the map and stuff. So it was really hard to find. I hope they changed it for this game. But yeah, this is where I'm going to end the stream. Expect another stream tomorrow, by the way. I think if I can, I would like to stream at the same time tomorrow. At the same time as today, tomorrow, if I can. Then Saturday, I won't stream on Saturday, but we will do a long XenobladeX stream. A very long stream, probably 7 to 8 hours of XenobladeX on Sunday. So yeah, we're going to have a very long extended stream on Sunday and a normal stream tomorrow, probably no stream on Saturday. That's the next 3 days that I want to set up, really. You know. So yeah, that's the future for this game. Obviously, this game will become the next Monday and Wednesday game on the channel. So we'll be streaming it every Monday at 6 PM and Wednesday at 6 PM in the future after this weekend. So yeah, it will become that Monday and Wednesday game in the future. That's about it. I don't know what else to say, but if you want to see more Xenoblade X or any of the Xeno series game, I'm planning a return to Xenoblade 1, Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade 3. I want to have all of those games on the channel at one point if I can. But yeah, any of the Xenoblade games you want to watch, you want to join me, you want to experience them with me, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Thank you for joining, and goodbye.